unfortunately, the fairy tale run of the Atlas Lions of Morocco may have ended at the 2022 FIFA World Cup, but they have the final, in quotes now, the final to play against Croatia tomorrow. Welcome to Nigeria Super Fans Forum, and this is our preview of that game because Morocco have the chance of leaving Qatar with at least a medal. Of course, they've set the bar high for other future African representatives at the World Cup already. So finishing as third at the tournament will be another bar set too high, so to say, for me. Welcome once again. My name is Oluwafemi Ashaolu. James Agberebi joins me in the studio. He's back from Qatar. Khalid Ogundare is still somewhere far away at the Khalifa International Stadium where that game will be taking place tomorrow. James, you're welcome.
Thank you, Femi.
You are still smelling Qatar.
It's good to be on the show again. It's been a while,
Yeah.
so let's get the show started.
Yeah, I know how much effort it took me to drag you here. Khalid Ogundare, it's of course, is also on via phone. Khalid, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Femi. It's a pleasure as always.
Okay, so where do we start, James? Of course, unfortunately, Morocco could not add France to their list of casualties at the World Cup because we saw Spain, Belgium, Portugal, but I'm sure they've put that behind them now and they're facing, of course, focusing on the third place playoff against Croatia tomorrow. That game, DJ Drogba has charged Morocco to fancy their chances against Croatia, you know. And if you look at it, the Croats are not a high pressing side. Maybe because of age, you can argue that. And they are also not a high scoring side. Do you agree with Drogba that Morocco can fancy their chances? Bearing also in mind that because Walid Regragui came out to say that most of his players in that game against France, they were only like 60-70% fit. But do you think they can maybe end the World Cup on a high with a top place medal?
Well, the thing, we don't know if the defeat to France has maybe has simmered down, maybe
demoralized them of some sort.
So that's another thing to look at, if they are going to be motivated enough to play the game against Croatia, because you know some of the players are down with injuries. Size, I doubt if Size is going to play this one, and you know, so I don't know how motivated they are going to this game. You know, nobody wants to play the third place match because, you know, you have your eyes set on the final. Then all of a sudden you now find yourself, you know, playing the third and fourth place game. You know, so I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea if they.
That's what they call it, losers final, right?
Yeah. So it wouldn't be a bad idea. At least let Africa be among those who have at least won something at the World Cup. Because what Morocco's feat, what it does for us now is it equals that of Asia. You know, they got to the semi-final in 2002. That was South Korea. So Africa has equaled that record. So what better way now to, you know, hard to hit? Because without doubt, we all know that Europe and South America, they own the World Cup. They've been winning it back and forth, back and forth. No other
Asia and Africa has been...
Oceania too is there.
Yeah.
You know, so even Oceania, they're even the worst. So let's go there. So for me, it would be a good idea if they can, you know, come out tops. You know, so this is not the first time Croatia will play in the third place. Remember in 1998, they played in the third place. They defeated Holland 2-1 in the days of
Davosuka
and
Boban.
Yes, you know, so for Morocco, let's see the kind of approach they will give this game. If they will just turn up and, you know, so I just hope they just like what Drogba said, they should be motivated enough to play it, and let's see what they can come out of with the game.
Okay, Kayode, of course, I know that even from the start of the tournament, no one, including the Moroccan players themselves, will ever think that they will play in the semi-final of this tournament. But James just said that we do not know for sure if the defeat to Russia may have dampened their spirit. Croatia, rather. If the defeat to France in the semi-final may have dampened their spirit. But do you think, with everything that's happened, because of course we are still going to talk about they've appealed to FIFA, petitioned FIFA about officiating in that game against France. But do you think the defeat could have dampened their spirit in any way that may affect their chances against Croatia?
First and foremost, I have to express my own unreserved congratulations to Morocco. Don't forget that at the beginning of this World Cup, I said any of the African countries that is able to get to the quarterfinals, which is the previous record held by an African country, would have done enough for me. They did not only get to that.
They surpassed it.
They surpassed it. They went as far as the semifinals. So for me, it was a good run. It was good while it lasted. And like James said, I think they are playing the third place final. It is a fight. It is a match that nobody wants to play. You have to dig deep into your reserves in order to be able to play the third place match, because ordinarily you are playing this match because you lost, you failed to reach
the final.
And probably that's why UEFA scrapped the third place game, because for them it was a waste of time. It is called the losers final
In Europe. Okay.
with the Moroccans, will they be able to dig deep and come up with something? Fine, they lost to France, an admittedly superior team. Croatia lost to Argentina. Let's see how this goes for me. But if I have to hazard a guess, I would tip the Croatians to win this. And for the simple reason that they have not done well in this competition. Forget the fact that they got to the semifinals. I'm talking about the Croatians. They have not done too. Yeah, they've not done too well. And if the Moroccans will be able to keep up their energy levels, which I doubt, they would take Croatia to the cleaners. I'm not sure they will be able to do that. That's the only problem I see with the Moroccans. But if they do, they should easily account for Croatia. So I am, like I said the last program before the semifinals, when I told you that even though my heart wants Morocco to win, my head tells me that it is France's games to lose, and I'm not happy that I was proven right. Now my heart and my head wants Morocco to win, and I hope they're able to do that on Saturday.
Okay, you said Croatia has been they've been disappointing in this tournament. Why that? Because I feel a team that has seen some of the key players at the 2018 tournament retire from the national team, and a team that is being driven in the middle by a man that is close to 40. In what way, Kade, do you think they've not really lived up to par? Was it because they got to the final last time and they've not been able to replicate that form in this tournament?
No, not exactly. I've said that because despite the fact that they go to the semi-finals this year, they still have a lot. They left a lot to be desired. One, I want you to, if you just pull up the statistics of all of their games, you'll see that they were not exceptional in games. Against in the semi-finals, I think they had just one shot on target. Against Brazil, they had one. And Brazil should have, I think the Brazilians just went off mentally after they had scored their own late goal, thinking that they were done and dusted. They allowed them to come back. And when it gets to penalties, the bets are off. It could go either anyway. This is the same Croatia that relied on penalties against Brazil and I think against Japan to get to the semi-finals in the first place. And you saw what happened against Argentina. You see why everybody is complaining that Croatia did not turn up for that game. It's not that they don't turn up. They just couldn't give what they didn't have. For me, the Croatians were the weakest team of the four that got to the semi-finals. They were the weakest. If you see, just check the stats of all their games. I think the game that they played well was the one they defeated Canada. And that Canada is a team that only me would have defeated the goalkeeper. I could easily have defeated the Canadians with the goalkeeper. So for me, they were the weakest team. And like I said, the football doesn't follow ABC. If Morocco can just rise themselves, because you know what, even if they finish fourth, the Moroccans have done what no other African countries have been able to do. But they could still raise the bar higher by becoming the first African team to finish with a medal at World Cup. That's the challenge that they have. And that's why they have to self-motivate. They have to motivate themselves. It's not about what anybody is going to tell them. It's not about what anybody is going to promise them. The idea that we can be the first team to finish on the podium from Africa is enough motivation for them. And I sincerely hope they are able to do that.
Okay. James, before we talk about the petitioning of FIFA by the Royal Morocco FA about the officiating in the game against France, Reguilon himself has charged his country to ensure that they become regulars in the later part of the World Cup, like at least getting a semi-final, quarter-final berth. We do not, it will be difficult to tell if an African team will be able to repeat this feat, even Morocco themselves or any other African country in 2026, 2032 and 2030 or whatever. But let's look at the other African countries now, those who are regulars in the World Cup, the regular representatives. In just 1 minute, who do you think will be able to at least match this record?
Any of the big teams from Africa, even Nigeria too can. It's all about being just like Morocco, what they did, it's not as if they did anything magic. They were just so organized, so well set up.
Because I remember Kayode, and I totally agree with him, because being born in Europe, the European influence, being brought up in the way Europeans play football, discipline, being compact, is what has helped Morocco in this tournament. You've seen it. Plus, they play like Europeans. If you do not know, you wouldn't know they are an African side.
Yeah, most of the players there.
But we're also saying that African teams, especially from West Africa, we do not have those kind of discipline.
That was what caused Super Eagles their game against Italy in 1994. You were just so close. All you need to do is just see out the game, but inexperienced, they just didn't know what to do at that dying moment, and that was how.
As talented as that team was, rated fifth at that time by FIFA.
Ghana almost got to the semi-final. They got a golden chance, as someone missed. So they were so close. So this thing is not magic. Morocco didn't perform any magic. They just did the basic things that you need to do, So they had one of the best runs, and check out the route they took to get to the semi-final. They played some of the best teams, and they were able to prove themselves. So it's just that's what the South Americans, and mostly, especially the Europeans, when they have this mentality. They know how to just grind that result. Even when things are not going their way, you find a way. They always find a way to just get that result, and they move on. I remember in the 2006 World Cup, Italy played against Austria in the round of 16. Italy played with a man down. But they scored in the dying minutes of the game, and they won, and they went on and won the World Cup. So sometimes African teams, they just have this, I don't know, when they get to a certain stage, they just, I don't know, something just happened, and they just fall apart, So what the Europeans and South Americans, what they're doing is not magic. They just know how to push all those crucial stages. They know how to move on. The Super Eagles, look at the 1998 World Cup. You have a Denmark team in your front.
You're thinking about Brazil.
So serious teams don't do that. So for Morocco, they've shown us the way how it is done. That it's not one big task. Just be organized. Just do the basic things. You take out this team. There's nothing too special about this team. They have the names and all the fine. You respect that. But when you get to the field, as long as you have your game, they went into most of those games they won with their game plan. They just refuse to be rolled over by these big teams. They set up and it worked for them. So that's just it. So there's no magic, no big deal about it. Like I said, Nigeria can do it, Ghana can do it, Cameroon can do it, all the big teams, they can do it. So there's no big deal about it. Just set up set everything.
The World Cup semi-final, James?
Yeah, what was there? What was the big deal? South Korea got to the semi-final, Turkey got to the semi-final. So, I mean, we have big teams in Africa who Cameroon almost did it in 1990, but just inexperienced. Super Eagles, like I said, they almost did it. They missed out.
When South Korea got to the final, they had an European coach.
Yeah.
They had this former Chelsea coach, right?
Yeah,
Officiating.
Yes.
Now, then Turkey. Turkey is more like the boundary between Europe and the Arab world. So you can deduce that those influences rubbed off on them. But Africa, I think, maybe I should just ask Kayode. Kayode, how many years from now, how many World Cups do you think other African countries will be able to replicate what Morocco have done at this tournament? Remember when the other time when you and I came on the show, you talked about how Morocco have planned for where they are today. How, remember they are women football, they are the current, they lost
CAF
final.
Yeah,
they are the CAF Women's Champion. They lost the final of the African Women Cup of Nations to South Africa. On the continent, they hold almost all the records. How many years do you think it will take Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, Senegal, name them, Ivory Coast, to do what they've done at this tournament?
The good thing about development is that because country A took 10 years to get to where they are going, it doesn't necessarily mean that country B should also take 10 years or more to get to that place. But the fact that you have country A to copy to see where they made mistakes could actually shorten your own time before you get to wherever to your destination. Every African country that wants to do well at the World Cup, let's put a short-term goal of 2026, mid-term goal of 2030, and long-term goal of 2034. Should start preparations tomorrow morning, Femi. You cannot wait for the World Cup to be like a month or 2 months away, then you now start preparing. It does not work that way. You have to lay the building blocks from tomorrow morning. Once you start laying that foundation, it will help you. You falter along the way. At the end of the day, you're going to do it. Do I think any other country could emulate as short as 4 years from now? I think it's possible. Sometimes it is not cast in stone what you have to do. So, like I said, when preparation meets opportunity, it just looks like magic. The Moroccans were prepared, so it did not come to them as a surprise. Up to now, even when they lost since they lost the semifinals, you've not heard any bonus round. You've not heard that somebody was supposed to bring money, he didn't bring the money. You not hear that somebody came.
They have to use helicopter to bring money.
For every goal that you scored. Or that somebody you brought cash for them with an aeroplane. All of these are things that you normally associate with African teams. So that's why I kept saying these Moroccans are not African standard. They do their things the way the Europeans do their things. So for me, I'm sure that I think the way I see for Morocco is just one way, and it is up, and up. If they keep doing what they are doing that led them to this place in the first place, then it is not a challenge for all the African teams that talent is not enough. The Ghanaians, the Senegalese, the Nigerians are much more talented than the Moroccans.
I agree.
But you know what? Talent is not enough. Talent is not enough. I learned that a long time ago, Femi. That you can. I think the great Pele said something. He said, "Winning. If you want to win, talent is just 20% of what you need. Planning and dedication and discipline takes 80%, the other 80%. So talent just takes like 20% of what you require. The British Moroccans have shown it. The next country I want you to be on the lookout for, Femi, is the South Africans. Mark my words today, you will see that very soon they will be doing what the Moroccans are doing, because they are also focused on the long term. They do not just rush into things with 1 or 2 weeks to a competition. So even when results are not going their way now, they know that it's just a matter of time if they keep doing the right thing. That's what Sub-Saharan Africa, West African countries, Ghana, Senegal, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, especially these 3 countries, Nigeria, Ghana, and Ivory Coast, this is what we have to learn.
Okay, Kadi, you didn't even mention Nigeria. At least try to be patriotic.
No, I did. I said Nigeria, Ghana.
Okay, I thought you were going to say the next country will be Nigeria, not South Africa.
No. I'm not going to lie. Not Nigeria. You cannot see the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result until and unless Nigeria clears the path, until they clean their hearts up. I do not expect anything. I'm not silly. I cannot say because I'm patriotic. I will not say things that I know cannot work.
Okay.
We cannot continue the way we are doing and hope to get anyway.
Okay.
That's why I said the country I'm expecting is South Africa, then Egypt, and Algeria. Those are teams that they have a long-term focus.
I hope the NFF hierarchy they are listening and watching this. James, as we round up now, producer said we have just a few minutes to go. Let's talk about Morocco. They've petitioned FIFA about officiating in that game against France. Particularly, they mentioned a number of instances. The face-off kind of between Bofa and Theo Hernandez, and a couple of other things. But do you think they have a case?
No, they don't. It's just a bloody waste of time. I was almost surprised when I saw the so-called petition. I mean, we've seen worse decisions in this World Cup, so even this one doesn't even come close. You know, so I mean, you petition FIFA to do what now?
But does that underline the fact that there's been officiating has not been top notch at this tournament.
We've seen
because we saw referee Argentina,
yes,
Netherlands sent home, and of course we saw the another dodgy decision, Argentina versus Croatia. I still feel that Messi penalty was not a penalty, yes, with the assistance of a technology.
Yeah. So like I said, the Buffal, especially the Buffal issue, I was surprised when he was issued a yellow card because there was a kind of a collusion. So I was surprised that he even got a card for that. So for me that was just too. That was not enough for them to say, okay, you want to petition FIFA to do what, to ask for a replay or what. So you know that would never happen. So I think it's just left for FIFA now to have a review of the officiating in this World Cup because there were so many questionable calls and they just have a lot of work to do now heading into the next World Cup because we don't want a repeat of this. Because I mean, you have VAR to at least assist the referee, but at least the poor officiating, the collaboration with VAR.
I think the people in the VAR. I think there should be a camera in the VAR room, or the camera in the VAR room should at every point in time show what they are doing. Because I saw there was one VAR, there was one mimic, there's some stuff I saw online at a very particular instance where a player was brought down in the 18. The referees in the VAR room, they were taking delivery of pizza, so they took their eyes off the system.
So I mean, they have a lot of work to do. I think VAR, they are the worst culprits in this World Cup because there are some decisions the referee took
that you should have called the referee back to check.
You begin to surprise, you wonder what's happening here. So FIFA had a lot of work to do. As for, like I said, as for the petition, they should just scrap it. It's going over.
Kyle, what's your opinion as we round up now? The Morocco FA, they've petitioned FIFA, but that underlines particularly in these knockout stages, we've had a couple of referee decisions that have actually raised eyebrows. But what do you think about, of course, we saw the referee, Argentina and Netherlands sent home already. The game between Morocco and France, I think Massimo Errati was even the VAR referee, vastly experienced, highly respected referee, but we still have issues coming up. Kyle.
I wasn't surprised about the man in the middle between Argentina and the Netherlands because I recall writing something on social media while the match was going on that the guy is not stamping his authority on this game, and that's where there were outbreaks of dissent all over the pitch. For me, I think there has been a breakdown in synergy between the center referees and the guys handling the VAR. That's why we see all this, some of these dodgy decisions. And everybody has been crying foul about officiating. The Netherlands did one, Portugal did their own, Morocco is doing their own.
Sorry, Kadi. We even saw the referee Argentina, Croatia. I've never heard Luka Modric criticize the referee, but he labeled that referee a disaster.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That everybody tends to criticize. The Portuguese they also did when they lost out. Everybody is like criticizing. See, to be fair to the referee, sometimes they are just soft targets that every losing team wants to eat out at. So probably they are not as bad as we make them look, because don't forget that you and I have an opportunity of a second look at events. They just have to glue with the first time they see events, even though they have VAR and the synergy is not there between them and the VAR officials. That's why we see some of this. But the Moroccans shouldn't have written that petition, in my opinion, if they had asked me, because it wasn't going to solve any problem. There would never be a replay of that game. Whatever the outcome is, the outcome would have stood, even if there was established case of bias against them. The result would have stayed. Worst case scenario, the referee will be punished and all. So, but for me, I think, like they say here in Nigeria, when you think the referee is against you, you play in such a way that you make it impossible for the referee to blow against you. That's what I think Morocco should do. As for all the other countries that have been complaining about officiating, I'm not sure there's anything humanly possible that wasn't done by FIFA. So even there were lapses by the officials, we've seen punishment handed out. So for me, that's not a big deal. That should not take the shine of this competition. It has been an unqualified success. Many did not expect Qatar to have been this super host that they are. So we shouldn't lose sight of that. We should, when we think and talk about this Qatar 2022, we should talk about the beautiful memories that we are making. We should not be fixed on one referee did but the other referee did nothing. So that for me is going to be my takeaway from this competition.
Okay. Thank you, Kyle Dogundare. Thank you for joining us on this preview.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, James, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Femi.
Okay, I hope this won't be the last time you disappear before the end of the World Cup.
Hopefully.
Okay, to our fans around the world, thank you for sticking with Nigeria Super Fans Forum. The journey has been long, and of course, the coverage for the World Cup is almost terminating now. Tomorrow, of course, we'll be coming around with the preview of that game between France and Argentina. It's going to be like another replay of the round of 16 at the last World Cup, where, of course, France defeated Argentina. I think 4-2. It ended 4-2. 4-3. Okay, it ended 4-3. So, and Lionel Messi has said he has an axe to grind with the French team. France, if they win, they will become the first country to successfully defend their title. I think since Brazil did this in 1952. 1962, right?
Yes.
Okay, 1962. So it's going to be another worthy final, and of course we are getting our fingers crossed as far as that is concerned. But tomorrow we'll bring you a preview of that game, because both teams have been talking. As a matter of fact, we heard that the flu has hit the French team ahead of the final. And some people are saying that this final, if Messi wins, we settle the GOAT debate. We want you to tell us what you think in this final. Should Messi win, will he settle the GOAT debate? We'll get to know. So until tomorrow, when we come around with the preview of that final of the 2025 World Cup, we'll see you all. I remain Ashalulu Afeni.